Welcome back, everyone, to a transformative journey back to your authentic self. Join us today as we unravel the secrets to rebuilding self-confidence, one empowering step at a time. In this lesson, we will navigate the stormy aftermath of narcissistic abuse, helping you emerge stronger, resilient, and brimming with self-assurance. It is the time to rewrite your story from victim to victor. Let's embark on this empowering odyssey together, where healing becomes your superpower. In order to adequately understand narcissistic abuse, we must investigate childhood trauma. This is because childhood trauma and emotional neglect play a significant role in the development of both codependency and narcissism. Individuals raised in dysfunctional families where emotional needs were unmet are more likely to exhibit these relational patterns in adulthood. Individuals who are codependent or those that have a self-love deficit disorder have a deficit of self-love, self-care, and self-compassion. As a result, they seek love, validation, and approval from others, often to their detriment. If you were entangled with a pathological narcissist, then this means that you are a recovering codependent or you're recovering from self-love deficit disorder. While codependence or codependency is a more popular term, you may also see the term self-love deficit disorder, SLDD, which is a term coined by Dr. Ross Rosenberg. Dr. Ross writes that codependency is an outdated term that connotes weakness and emotional fragility, both of which are far from the truth. The new term should recognize the problem with which all codependents struggle, a deficiency of self-love. Without it, they are perpetually and hopelessly attracted to pathological narcissists. The term self-love deficit disorder then takes the disgrace out of the name of codependency and places the focus on the shame that perpetuates it. I wanted to take time to introduce you to this because this is the current clinical language. Hence, when it comes to healing from narcissistic abuse, then this is going to involve developing self-love, setting boundaries, and understanding your intrinsic value. So codependence or this self-love deficit is the state that you need to shed. A self-love deficit is rooted in early experiences, especially those involving emotional neglect, abuse, or inconsistent nurturing during childhood. Children who do not receive sufficient love and validation from their caregivers can grow up with a profound sense of unworthiness and inadequacy. Subconsciously, they seek external validation and approval to fill this void within themselves. They believe that if they can make others happy or meet their needs, they will in turn be loved and accepted. This often leads them to form relationships with people who have narcissistic traits. Codependents, who are individuals with a pattern of excessive emotional reliance on others, and narcissists, who are individuals with a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and a lack of empathy, are drawn to each other in relationships. So opposites do attract, however, this is not necessarily recommended in the realm of healthy human relationships. This is because codependents who are empathetic, nurturing, and self-sacrificing are magnetically attracted to narcissists who are selfish, egocentric, and manipulative. If you are a recovering codependent, then this means that you lack self-love and you did not learn appropriate self-care. Due to this deficit, you'll seek love and validation externally, often in relationships. This need for external validation makes you susceptible to narcissists who, in the beginning, most likely will appear confident and charming. As we delve deeper into healing from narcissistic abuse, then we must address shame and low self-esteem. Core shame is a deep-seated belief of being fundamentally flawed and unworthy of love and positive attention. This feeling often stems from childhood experiences of emotional neglect, abuse, or inconsistent parenting. You will find consistent criticism and similar behaviors in dysfunctional family systems. In the context of codependence, individuals who suffer from this disorder often have core shame as the result of narcissistic abuse. In codependency, shame leads to a pattern of seeking love and validation from others, particularly individuals who are unable to provide healthy love and care. Codependents are often attracted to narcissists who, with their charm and manipulation, exploit this core shame for their own benefit. This creates a cycle where the individual with this self-love deficit continuously seeks love and approval, often from the very people who reinforce their feelings of unworthiness. Healing from a self-love deficit involves addressing and overcoming this core shame. Coaching, therapy, and self-help strategies aim to help individuals to recognize and challenge these deeply ingrained beliefs about themselves. By developing self-compassion, building self-esteem, and establishing healthy boundaries, individuals can begin to break free from the cycle of seeking validation from toxic relationships. The process involves learning to love and accept oneself, thus reducing the impact of core shame and empowering individuals to establish healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Another aspect of healing from narcissistic abuse involves understanding complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Victims of narcissistic abuse often suffer from CPTSD due to the chronic and repetitive nature of the abuse that they endured. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder is a psychological condition that can develop in response to prolonged, repeated trauma, often of an interpersonal nature such as childhood abuse, neglect, or domestic violence. CPTSD is similar to post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, but with additional symptoms related to difficulties in regulating emotions and forming healthy relationships. Here are 4 of the key aspects of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Number 1 is flashbacks and intrusive memories. So you may experience repeated involuntary memories, flashbacks, or distressing dreams related to the traumatic events. Number 2 is avoidance. So avoidance of people, places, or activities that remind the person of the trauma. Number 3 is negative changes in beliefs and feelings. So you may experience persistent negative beliefs about yourself or others, persistent feelings of fear, horror, anger, guilt, or shame. Number 4 is hyperarousal, which is persistent feelings of being on edge, irritable, difficulty sleeping, or having an exaggerated startle response. So if after narcissistic abuse you've experienced severe emotional dysregulation such as intense and unstable emotions, suicidal thoughts, explosive anger, or feelings of numbness, then all of this is normal. You will feel like you are losing yourself or being disconnected from yourself because that is exactly what was happening. So you may experience feelings of being disconnected or seeing yourself from outside of your body or losing touch with reality. All of these are symptoms of CPTSD, which will subside once they are addressed, and the further and the longer you stay away from these toxic personality types. Recovery from CPTSD is possible with appropriate treatment, support, and time. It often involves learning adequate coping strategies, building a support network, and gradually processing and integrating the traumatic experiences. In this time, ensure that you're patient with yourself and show yourself some compassion because you did go through a very traumatic event. In addition, you may need to seek professional guidance to help you along the healing process. It is important to note that while both PTSD and CPTSD involve serious emotional and psychological challenges, CPTSD is considered a more complex condition due to the prolonged, repetitive, and pervasive nature of the trauma endured. Hence, treatment approaches often involve a more comprehensive focus on self-esteem, relational issues, and complex emotional responses in the case of CPTSD. Rebuilding self-confidence after a narcissistic relationship is a process that takes time and patience. It requires learning to prioritize one's own needs, nurturing one's own emotional well-being, and cultivating self-compassion. This means you will have to fill your cup before you start pouring into others. By developing a healthy sense of self-love, individuals can break free from codependent patterns and build fulfilling, balanced relationships. Here are some steps to help you regain your confidence and sense of self-worth. Number 1 is to acknowledge your feelings. Accept and acknowledge the feelings of betrayal, hurt, and low self-esteem. It is important to allow yourself to feel these emotions without judgment. This is because emotions are simply energy in motion and you should allow them to pass through you. Number 2 is self-compassion. So practice self-compassion and self-kindness. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would be offering a good friend. Be patient with yourself during this healing process because healing is not linear. Healing is more of a journey and it has a lot of ups and downs, but what you want to make sure is that in the end, you are rising. Number 3 is to set boundaries. So learn how to set and enforce boundaries in your relationships. Understand what behaviors are acceptable and what are not. Practice saying no when necessary and prioritize your own well-being. Exercise, meditate, go for a swim, go for a walk, partake in your various hobbies that you like, or spend time with positive people that can boost your self-esteem and overall well-being. Number 5 is to challenge negative self-talk. This is your inner critic. So be mindful of your inner dialogue. Challenge and replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Practice self-love and remind yourself of strengths and achievements. Number 6, and this is a very crucial one. So seek support. Reach out to friends, trusted family members or support groups who understand your situation. Subscribe to the NARC Dojo channel and the other various narcissistic abuse recovery channels that you find online. And this is because talking to others who have experienced similar relationships can provide validation and comfort. Simply put, people that did not go through narcissistic abuse may not understand what you are experiencing, hence they won't be able to empathize with you. Be careful not to isolate yourself too much. Stay connected with supportive people because isolating yourself can worsen feelings of worthlessness. So reach out to others even if it may be challenging. Number 7 is to reconnect with your passions. Rediscover your interests and passions. Engaging in activities that bring you fulfillment can remind you of your worth and capabilities. Number 8 is forgiveness, and this is forgiveness of yourself. So consider forgiving yourself for any perceived mistakes or shortcomings. Understand that you were manipulated and the abuse was not your fault. When you forgive yourself, you let go of the shame, guilt, and various negative emotions. Hence, forgiveness allows you to raise your vibration, and when you raise your vibration, then you feel better. And when you do this, you will see that you will acknowledge and celebrate your progress, because no matter how small it might be, every step forward is a victory on your healing journey. Number 9 is continue educating yourself. Learn more about narcissistic personality disorder and abusive relationship dynamics. Understanding these dynamics can help you to make sense of your experience and reduce self-blame. When you let go of self-blame, then you're letting go of shame. Number 10 is coaching or therapy. So consider speaking with a mental health professional experienced in narcissistic abuse. Coaching can provide a safe space to explore your feelings, rebuild self-esteem, and develop coping strategies. Remember, healing from a narcissistic relationship is a gradual process. Be patient with yourself and don't hesitate to seek professional help if you find it difficult to cope on your own. Thank you for joining me on this journey of understanding and healing from narcissistic abuse. Remember, healing is not linear. It is a courageous, transformative process. As we close out this lesson, I want to hold you to one essential truth. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. Narcissistic abuse might have left scars, but it does not define your future. By acknowledging your worth, setting boundaries, practicing self-compassion, and seeking support, you are already on the path to reclaiming your life. You are resilient, you are strong, and you are enough. As you move forward, understand that you are not alone. Know that there's a community of survivors cheering you on. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and never underestimate the power of your own healing. You have taken the first step towards a brighter, healthier future. You are not alone on this journey. So stay strong, stay brave, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care and keep healing, and I'll catch you in the next lesson.